I, female 27, have recently really started despising my sister-in-law, female 25. She and my brother got married a year ago, and prior to that, she was absolutely perfect and my best friend. Well, I guess a switch flipped when they got married. I've always had a successful business, and I've therefore helped my brother build a 3-house property. I paid for around 55% of all 3 houses, and the agreement was always I own one, my parents own one, and my brother owns one. We never specified which house belongs to who, but me and my husband had chose one and lived in it for 2 years. My husband is from another country, so we only spend a few months at the house at a time. Well, my sister-in-law had been talking about how she wants me to exchange houses with her and my brother, for no actual reason, since the houses are frickin' identical, other than her claiming that my house has a better view. I have said no to all of her requests since we were already settled in and comfortable. Well, while we were away, she took it upon herself, with the help of my family, to move my things to the house they were living in, and her things to the house we were living in. Mind you, she kept all our furniture, and only moved things such as clothes, pool table. I was livid when I got home, but everyone in my family said I'm being an a-hole, since I don't even live there half the year. So I just let things go and forgave her, and we were good once again. Keep in mind though, her and my brother didn't put a single cent into any of these houses. Until now, when I just genuinely am starting to hate her. For work, I source out designer items for clients. I've recently come across this limited edition bag, and before I had the chance to market it, my brother asks me for it so he can give it to her for her birthday. This bag costs me, the seller, $9,700, which I agreed with my brother he can give me exactly what I'm paying for it since he is family. This means that I won't make profit off it, but at least I'll break even. I've lately been struggling financially since my husband had been laid off of work and the economy is down, and since I took out a massive loan to help build the 3 houses. So now that my income is lower, I've been having to work extra hard to barely survive after paying off all my bills, and that's something that my brother and his wife knew fully well. Well, yesterday my brother comes over to me and is like, "Hey, we're one and there's no money between us, so instead of paying you for the bag, I'll just one day pay off one of your bills." That was bad news, since I need the money for my bills. But I was like, okay, at least let me use the bag to do an ad with a certain influencer that I always use, since that girl does a really great job of generating sales, and that'll help me pay for the $9,700 bag. Well, my sister-in-law threw a fit and called me rude for wanting to use her bag for 3 hours in an ad. And honestly, I've just started hating her, since you're not paying me for the item, and you're also not letting me use it to generate the income necessary to cover the cost. Best part is, she then inquired about matching shoes. Yeah, right, buy them somewhere else. And she has a huge temper and gets mad at every little thing. I've now decided that maybe it's time to sell whichever house they deem to be mine, to buy a new one further away where I don't have to deal with her BS every day and my family backing her up. I don't understand why OP is letting sister-in-law and her brother walk all over her. I really hope OP has proof of who bought the houses and has legal right to them. OP is enabling this behavior. She let her sister-in-law disregard her decision and stomp on OP, moving OP's things without her permission. OP needs to stop being a doormat. OP should have called the police and had her removed from OP's home and the property she didn't purchase. If OP's family thinks that OP is an a-hole for literally not allowing sister-in-law to rob her, OP doesn't need them in her life and should go low contact with them. And OP's brother is disregarding OP, asking for a bag that costs $10K basically. If he wants to gift his wife, he needs to pay for that. He did not pay for it, so it does not belong to his wife, and OP needs to demand they give it back, otherwise she will class it as theft. And now let's see if the community agrees with me. Hill McElson says, "You're not the a-hole for hating your sister-in-law, but you are for letting them treat you like a doormat. When they took over your house and kept your things, you should have called the police. Hire a lawyer ASAP and stop being naive. You're already in serious debt because of them and facing financial difficulties. Go after the money you spent on the houses, sell your house, move far away from your family, and go no contact with them. Can you move to your husband's country? That would allow you to create some distance and start saving money." The One Bonesaw says, "You need to start seeing a therapist in order to build up your own self-esteem. You have value as a person and are a successful businesswoman. Stop being these people's doormat and learn to stand up for what is rightfully yours that you paid for." Celtic Muse Book says, "How did you end up paying for half of 3 houses, but only own one house? Who paid the other 45%? What is going on with your parents that they moved your possessions from your house without your permission, using the excuse the houses are identical, which means why did your bro and sister-in-law need to switch houses? You said they didn't move the furniture. Did they steal your furniture as well? Lastly, why did you still give your brother a purse that cost nearly $10K when he didn't honor his promise to pay for it? Lots of toxic stuff happening here. I, female, divorced my late husband Jack 10 years ago. We both remained on good terms, and he was always there for our daughter. He adored her so much. He suffered from cancer, had a rough period, and he always said that our daughter was the reason he kept going. Unfortunately, he passed away 4 years ago. The tragedy was devastating. Everything I have from him is treasure for our daughter. She keeps the majority of his belongings. She thought it was unfair that her dad suffered so much. She was living with me and her stepdad, Kevin. Kevin has been the most supportive one during those rough years. He always shows my daughter love and support. My daughter announced her wedding date. Kevin and I felt so excited for her and her fiancé. Before Jack passed away, he gave me a recording of his voice as a message for our daughter and wanted me to give it to her on her wedding day. He said he just wanted to make her feel he's always there with her. I only told Kevin about it. He didn't think it was a good idea because my daughter may get upset being reminded of her father's passing. He suggested we wait till after the wedding. I politely asked him to respect that I'm honoring her dad's wish. He apologized afterwards. Last week, I noticed the USB stick where I keep the voice message was gone. I looked inside the box and all over the house, but found nothing. The wedding is next month. I felt helpless. I searched everywhere. Kevin denied seeing it. But yesterday, I discovered it was hidden in his old wallet. I was shocked. I asked him, and he said he took it and was planning to give it back after the wedding, so my daughter could listen to it. I yelled at him, asking why he'd do this, and he defended himself by explaining that my daughter might react negatively after listening to the voice message on her wedding day, and I might be accused of ruining the wedding. I was furious. I had a huge argument. Then he said he was trying to help me make the right call, but the call isn't mine to make. I packed my things and left after he kept saying I was selfish and can't be reasoned with. He called my sister to tell her about our argument and how unfair I was by how I reacted to him offering to help and support his stepdaughter. Whatever his intentions, that was a major line to have crossed. He not only took the USB, but lied about it too. What was his plan for after the wedding? That he'd just whip it out and you'd be super grateful for his wisdom? OP is definitely not in the wrong here. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Black Sci Guy says, "Not the a-hole. He's BSing you too. This isn't about her reacting poorly or him trying to protect her. He's trying to protect something, all right. His ego. He's jealous of a dead man's connection to his living adult daughter." Apricot Gus says, "Not the a-hole. I think Kevin is worried that he won't get the attention as father of the bride, because chances are Jack's recording would be a fairly hot topic. I do think you should let your daughter know about the recording at least a week beforehand. On my wedding day, I was an emotional mess. And if something like a recording my late father made for my wedding day was spun upon me, oh man, I don't think I'd be able to recover in time for a ceremony." Demonic Symphony says, "Not the a-hole. Oh my god, he's jealous of a dead man. I'm so sorry you're going through this. The ring was given to me when my grandmother passed away in 1998. My father had it valued at the time, and I have the valuation of $3,800. My parents have since divorced. Very nasty and lengthy custody battle. They do not talk and cannot be in the same room. And my mother never got along with my father's mother, to the point where my grandparents didn't attend my parents' wedding. It seems strange to me that she would want the ring. My mother said she always admired the ring. My mother assured me the ring will come back to me in her will, so I don't need to charge her market value. She wants to pay the $3,800 valuation price. I said to her that we should get it valued again. I said I would pay for the valuation, and she keeps pressuring me, saying it will take time and money, and just let her have it at $3,800, as she probably can't afford more than that. I said I'll think about it, and it blew up into a big fight, and she said I'm not wearing it and not enjoying it. It's just collecting dust in the safe. I didn't say this to my mom, but I think my grandmother would not be happy with my mother wearing the ring. The whole thing seems super weird and sus to me, and I need other opinions, as I'm too close to this to get a read on it." Yeah, it's really strange that OP's mother wants that ring because of her history with her mother-in-law. I don't think OP should sell it to her. Once she sells it, it won't belong to OP anymore, and OP's mother will be able to do with it whatever she wants. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Sig Sauer Power 320 says, not the a-hole. That's for sure sus as duck that she wants that ring. I'd say you shouldn't sell it to her at all. Mean Suit says, not the a-hole. Don't sell her the ring at that price. Trust me, she'll sell the ring for full price the minute she's able to. And then she'll tell you something like, you didn't even use it. I thought it was okay. If you do sell it, have it evaluated first and sell it full price. However, if you want to sell it, I'd do it to someone else entirely. She wants to spite your father's family. You know your grandma wouldn't want her to have the ring. She gave it to you directly, and you know your mother didn't like her, so there's no emotional reason for her to want the ring. Well, at least not a good emotion. Whatever you decide to do, make it sure it's what you want to do. Don't do it to please your mother. Don't do it thinking you'll get the ring back. Crumbopulous Jeff says, not the a-hole. She can't really guarantee that the ring will come back to you in her will. If she is planning on wearing it, there is a possibility it will get lost. If she pays a fair price, you shouldn't care if it is returned to you anyway. It seems like she wants to buy it off you for cheap and sell it for a profit. Update. This situation was of such grave concern to me that while I had made my mind up not to sell it to her or anyone, I teased out some further information from her on her intentions. I asked for her offer, and she said $3,000 was all she could afford. Tried to tell me that diamonds have gone down in value since then, which I told her absolutely is not true due to their scarcity. I sent her links to show her that I knew she was trying to give me bogus information, and I'm not stupid. I told her I will get it valued for insurance purposes, and I might repurpose it into earrings or another setting that suits me more, so I can wear it and enjoy it. She then tried turning it into trying to help me financially, and I said that $3,000 doesn't really move the dial that much, and some things are priceless and not for sale. She couldn't counter. That signed off there. I'm so sad she thinks I'm so dumb and money hungry. My brother got married over the weekend. No one in my family was excited because there's been a lot of drama, and she is super confrontational with my mom. I think there were some hard feelings because my dad paid for both of my sister's weddings, but not their wedding, though etiquette dictates that the father of the bride pays anyway. Everything at the wedding was either late or totally messed up, especially the food. Towards the end of the night, my mom was sitting on my dad's lap, and I guess it could have looked like she was sulking, but I think she was just hungry and tired. Her chicken was all pink, so she had cake for dinner. And either way, I feel like a married couple should be able to show affection. Sister-in-law came over pretty aggressive and insulted my mom for sitting on his lap. She said it looked childish and she was causing a scene. My mom said you would rather I pass out and glanced at the chicken, but sister-in-law wouldn't let it go and was saying stuff like, you are 50-something years old. You can sit up in a chair. I finally snapped and told her to take her David's bridal dress and leave us alone. Now my brother is really angry at me, and my dad got involved because of the stuff he was texting me. So now he is mad at our parents and saying we tried to ruin the wedding. Millennium says, so let's get this straight. Your dad paid for both your sisters' weddings. Your family is sulking over the quality of the service you didn't help pay for. Then you insult the bride for having a cheap dress? You're the a-hole. Your family sounds horrible. I'd rather spend time with your brother and sister-in-law. Triatomine says, you're the a-hole. I hate when grown people sit in laps in a formal setting. It is just so weird and inappropriate. Don't you think sister-in-law was mortified by the bad food? That she saw her new family judging her for the low quality of things when she had to pay for it herself? And that comment about her cheap dress from David's bridal is one of the most elitist things I've ever heard. Sorry it isn't couture, but most normal people don't buy bespoke wedding dresses. Again, you're the a-hole. Jessica Jones 2 says, everyone sucks here. Insulting the wedding dress on a wedding day when the day is already crap isn't nice of you. And sister-in-law and your brother have a reason to feel kind of peeved if your father is showing favoritism towards his daughters financially. Etiquette is dumb, in my opinion. Sister-in-law could have been more understanding of your mother's situation.